I can actually name one, which Fox does. When he chews any kind of food, he is the most obnoxious chewer that you will ever hear. Like, you can actually like hear his jaw pop. You can hear his like mouth open and close, and it is awful. It's absolutely disgusting, and it drives me absolutely insane because I have to listen to it every day. My mom actually wouldn't let me have my own account, so I used to be known as Pro Cow Tipper 21. And then when I eventually hit like 16, my mom finally let me have my own account, and I had no idea what to name myself. So my older brother actually came up with the idea of naming myself like the Goddess of War. When I finally got partnered on Twitch, they turned around and they're like, yo, like the name Goddess is actually available, would you want it? And I was like, yes, I do want that. So then after that, I was just kind of known as Goddess. As of right now, like my biggest challenge is probably being a female in like the male-dominated scene. I get questions every day like, oh, like how do you do it? What's actually like playing with a whole bunch of guys? Like, are they sexist and blah 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 and stuff like that? So for me, that's probably the biggest challenge because I don't like to like think of it as like a female being amongst like other men. I just like thinking of it as like a gamer playing with gamers. I think I tolerate him. So like, we get up. I usually don't like leave my room, so I don't have to like associate myself with him that much. And then we'll go out, we'll scrim, and then I'll have to sit there with him for like 6 to 7 hours. And then after that, I'm usually like done. And then I stream and I just like cut it off, like all the outside world, so I don't have to deal with him. I actually don't know. I would like ideally say somewhere on a beach, but no like one specific spot like pops up in my head. I haven't really like has gotten enough places to get an idea of like what I like and what I don't like, so I really don't know the answer to that. Well, I've only watched 2, and that was Attack on Titan and Death Note, so I'd probably go with Attack on Titan. I'm probably gonna go with Jaeger's Elite set. I don't know why it's my favorite, but it's just probably my favorite. Are you dating any of your teammates?
Yeah.
Yep. I get that on a daily basis, and every day I'm just like, no, no. The defender I would remove would probably be Tachanka, because he's an absolutely useless op and shouldn't be in the game. And on offense, I think I would remove Lion. I don't think any global operator should be in the game, and Lion is by far the worst operator to play against, so he shouldn't be in it. Well, my mom makes some bomb macaroni, like homemade macaroni and cheese, so that's probably my all-time favorite meal. I just got done watching like the new Bohemian Rhapsody movie, so like the first thing that comes to my mind is like Another One Bites the Dust, so that would probably be the song that I would pick. I would honestly pick Bartlett. Like, my disgust for Tower goes like bone deep. I cannot with that, man. The one type of food that I would eat for the rest of my life would be pasta. While I was like going to college, every Monday when like I would wake up, my mom would always send me like a motivational quote, or she would send me something to like start my week off with. So I don't know if it's just one quote, but just like a multitude of things that my mom has like told me over the years, I guess. Well, I kind of have 2 irrational fears. I'm terrified of clowns, and I am terrified of the dark. The biggest thing that's probably going to help you is to grind terrorist hunt. It's gonna give you like an idea of like what your movement's gonna be like, what your sense is gonna be, blah blah blah. You're gonna be able to like fidget with what you like, what you don't like. And like when I first switched over, I played T-Hunt for 2 weeks before I played absolutely anything else. Well, back home we could never really store them because they were gone so fast, but nowhere in my stomach. Probably gonna go with The Witcher 3. It's probably my favorite single player. So the fantasy universe I would pick would be The Vampire Diaries, because there are some very good-looking men in that TV show that I would not mind looking at on a daily basis. So I actually came from Call of Duty, and like the group of guys that I played Call of Duty with, they actually talked me into trying out Siege, and that was like way back on Xbox when it first came out. So I gradually started developing a liking to like scrimming and actually like watching the comp scene, and then it kind of just developed from there. And then I became friends with a bunch of pros and kind of like intermingled with all of them and jumped into the scene. It's even worse. It's awful. You put me in like a haunted house, there's a dark room, there's clowns coming out, like chances are I'm running either out of the house or I'm running to the next room.